You walk into a room, an event, a party, a seminar, and you immediately realize you don't belong. Your clothes don't fit the scene, and the people around you don't even bother to make eye contact. You are, for all practical purposes, entirely invisible. Then there are the quiet micro-sacrifices you make every single day. You see something you want, maybe just a simple meal or a basic necessity, but you have to instantly kill that desire and walk away, strictly because the math in your bank account won't allow it. But the deepest psychological cut isn't what you personally lack, it's watching your family. You watch your parents pour out their sweat and sacrifice their physical health from dawn until dusk, absorbing endless stress just to scrape together enough money to simply survive. That reality follows you to bed. You lie awake, staring at the ceiling, calculating expenses that far outweigh what you earn. The resulting sleeplessness comes from a paralyzing fear that tomorrow holds absolutely no potential for anything better. Society looks at this state of scarcity and labels it a dead end. This loop visualizes that assumption, an inescapable trap that strips away your power, your choices, and your agency, locking you permanently at the bottom. But consider the freedom found in being ignored. When the world looks past you, it also stops policing you. This total lack of resources strips away the burden of maintaining appearances, leaving only the raw necessity to move. This void creates the vacuum required for an explosive upward climb. Rock bottom functions as a pressurized baseline. Every ounce of social weight pushing down on you increases the potential energy available for the return trajectory. We are constantly sold the idea that motivation comes from chasing a prize. We think it's about luxury items, trying to capture internet fame, or seeking revenge after a breakup. But the simple desire to acquire more money or status is a highly fragile and easily exhausted psychological fuel. When your mind and body are completely drained, the wish for a nicer car isn't going to get you out of bed. Positive acquisition simply does not survive true exhaustion. When survival is on the line, the demand for effort is non-negotiable. The threat of deprivation forces an output desire cannot match. Add external negative stimuli. When people mock your circumstances, humiliation acts as a force multiplier, filling a reservoir of productive anger. Humiliation and starvation provide the raw materials for a psychological furnace. This internal pressure produces a level of drive that comfortable people simply cannot access. The turning point happens the moment you stop absorbing social rejection like a victim and begin actively weaponizing that anger for your own utility. You take every instance where someone reminded you of your place, the insults, the stolen joy, and you carefully record those names. Then you channel that dark, aggressive energy directly into silent, relentless execution. This matrix charts the asymmetry of zero. Starting at absolute zero on the y-axis entirely eliminates the risk of losing anything. Operating at this zero-risk baseline removes the paralysis of fear, freeing you to execute the boldest moves without hesitation. Think about your competitors. The people who already have money and status are constantly slowed down by the heavy burden of protecting what they have. They second-guess their moves, but you don't. Starting with absolutely nothing is the ultimate strategic leverage. It takes a guaranteed state of failure and converts it into a license for unlimited risk. Eventually, the math tips in your favor. The years of silent, aggressive work force a tangible change in your material reality, and the physical and social dynamics around you begin to shift. You move entirely past the need to look successful. Your focus transitions strictly to intrinsic value creation. The actual, proven output of your work supersedes your background, your old clothes, and your initial outward optics. You reach a phase where your name becomes completely synonymous with your results. The work is so good that it speaks before you do, forcing the world to interact with you entirely on your terms. We tend to reserve our highest level of respect for the individual who climbed out of the dirt on their own merit. The person born at the peak earns a nod. The one who scaled the cliff face earns our awe. This exposes the immense advantage of low expectations. Because society assumed you would amount to nothing, they rarely see you coming. The world is perpetually blindsided by the quiet, struggling individuals they chose to ignore. Stop viewing your financial constraints and social invisibility as a curse. The fact that no one expects anything from you right now is your greatest asset. Use the silence of society's neglect as the incubator for success the world can no longer ignore.